all stowed in the dry hatches, front and rear on this boat, and I'm going to paddle down about 1.5 miles on the Ohio River and set up camp for the night. Looks like I'm the first one here, and so we're expecting about 40 people at the campsite. Let's get this adventure on. Paddling a short way. I've got about 70 pounds of gear and water in this boat. She handles way different than what she was before. And there's a motorboat coming in right now. There's a barge right behind that. So I waited about a minute in the boat, not even paddling when I first pushed off, because I just wanted to get the feel for the stability points on the boat. I got some boat waves coming in here right now. I'm going to go ahead and wait for these to crest underneath me. There they go. That's where I came on shore and offloaded the boat. Came down just a short piece. That's my camp chair set up facing the water. And there's my house set up. I added a feature to the tarp. I put some clips on the outside and I ran a tent pole through the eye opening of those clips. And what that does is it allows me to have a really nice spread on the tarp without having to have tie-outs. So it's a little bit of extra weight. Takes a minute to set that part up. It was my first time, so I had to adjust it. And this is the landscape area. So I found 2 trees that are about 17 feet apart. And I didn't have to do much to the landscape, so I'm not disturbing it too much. Pulled up a little bit of the long grasses, but not much. And then cleaned up a lot of the deadwood debris that's just laying around that I was stepping on. So this will be home for the night. I've got my food cache over here by the tree because it's in the shade. So I've got 2 gallons of water here. I've still got 1 in the boat. And there's my food bag. And I was successful at getting a line set up into that tree. So I'll hang my food for the evening time in case there are raccoon or other creatures that want to get in it. And I'm going to get a bite to eat for lunch. I'm going to visit my neighbor Carl down the way. He's the second person here on the island. And get a bite to eat, and then I'm going to go for a real nice afternoon paddle. It's beautiful out here. A little bit choppy when I was coming in. The winds were 12 to 15 miles an hour, but nothing serious. The boat handles very differently with the extra 70 pounds in it. 30 pounds of water and 40 pounds of gear. And I've got 2 little debris piles already set up. I can snap them up into firewood. There's one there that I actually put together, and this one here, nature put together, right past that blue tarp. There's my neighbor paddling. He set up camp about 70 yards down the shore from me. Yep, it's getting close to 7 o'clock. We're getting that dinner fire started. Got plenty of wood. Collected it right from within 20 feet of here. Love the smell of a campfire. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 10 boats. Lots of bodies. Well, I've still got my 16 by 16 tarp. However, I modified it a little bit. I added some clips to one of the seam areas. And I took a old tent pole that I have and I strung it through the clips. So without using external tie-outs, I get my 10-foot wide, 5-foot tall interior. Pretty sweet, eh? Of course, I have to carry the poles, but compared to having to find tie-out trees, I'd rather use the poles. Because in this area, there's no tie-out trees. Little campfire burning. Already had my dinner. And I'm down on the shore of the Ohio River. This is east of Louisville, town of Westport. Boat ramp is about 1.5 miles upriver. Pretty easy paddle. Morning campfire. Actually just kicked the cinders around and put some sticks on it. And so that started right away. Got a couple long sticks on there. I'll show you why in a minute. Breakfast is in that jet boil. It is oatmeal. Later on I'll have coffee in the same jet boil. That way it washes the jet boil. My tarp performed perfectly yesterday, or last night. You can see how the one end is sagging with the morning dew, and the other one is stretched out with the tent pole, which is what I wanted. And the reason for not cutting these sticks or breaking them is because I have a neighbor. They're sleeping in their boat. They had a campfire last night that I walked by. And there's our first departing camper. About 35 people showed up, and they are literally dispersed campers. So the next nearest campsite, if you can see that red on the shoreline, there's a campsite there. The next one is past the bend. I'm located here, and if you can see that wood pile, there's a kayak just before that wood pile, and there's a camper there. And so we have people displaced. Oh, so that's the gentleman that came in. He was the third kayaker to arrive yesterday. So as I was saying, people are dispersed all the way down the beach, covering about 1/3 of a mile. Middle of the screen is a beaver. That's pretty cool. He'll want to find his way pretty quick because there's a barge coming. Yeah, it's a big barge. But I'm sure he's very used to this. And I'm sure he can hear it already.